Hey guys, how y'all doing tonight? Music is by Total Eclipse. I was watching one of his videos, and he said that he had a playlist on Spotify that is available for all creators to use. So I figured I'd throw a little bit of music in here because, man, not being able to have music in these at all is kind of it's killed me a little bit always. Yeah, there we go. Hope you guys are doing okay. This early morning. My work schedule is completely fucked at this point, so my sleep schedule is completely fucked, and they kind of go hand in hand. I'm a night owl anyway, and I guess this is just how it is right now. I don't work till Wednesday, so I can recoup this tomorrow. Tonight, though, I have a few things for us to look at. First up is Nightingale. It looks like a pretty sweet looking MMO. Before we get into all of that, I do like using the earbuds for recording, but my cousin is home tonight, so I can't count on there not being noise or inappropriate language that I can't do anything about. So we're gonna do it this way tonight. Ooh, sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and take care of traditions. Reminder to everyone to make sure you clean your pieces. I'm gonna do mine tomorrow. Got a big ass glob of fucking concentrate sitting right in the elbow. Let's see if I can do something about reclaiming that. Again, we're smoking on the mango. This stuff, oh my god, it smells like mango puree. It's fucking delicious. I like this music. I'm really digging it. When I post the video to YouTube, I'll put a link in the description to his Spotify, so y'all can check it out. After Nightingale, we're going to check out Armored Core. I think it's called Fires of Rubicon. I remember Armored Core 2 for, was it PlayStation or PlayStation 2? One of the two. Maybe it was PlayStation. It was a really good game. There was all kinds of secrets to find, and the combat was really fucking hard, but it was cool. Yeah, I know there's been several since then, but I've been in different headspaces as far as games go over the years. Certain games took large chunks of my formative years. WoW being one of those, Rift, Skyrim, and any number of other games that just fucking took my time. I never got around to any of those Armored Core games. I saw them, but this is the first one that's piqued my interest in a long time, especially since it's coming to PCs as well as consoles. And it's going to be on Steam, as far as I can tell. Despite some of the challenges and, I guess, hiccups along the way for Steam, they're a pretty good service. I don't see too much problem with them. I saw a video the other day, and it was about a YouTuber that had started as doing a weight loss thing. I think her name was Amberly or something like that, but one that was very disturbing and sad to watch, because I used to be a super heavy person. I used to weigh 375 pounds. I know what it is to struggle and come down from that. One second. Alright. So as I was saying, I've been there. I think the largest pant size that I remember having was um 54. That's why I don't like Spotify all that much, because their shit be wonky, and I already pay for YouTube to listen to all the music I want. Yeah, now it's not even doing its thing. We might just go. So, turn that down. I guess I just need to make sure I refresh it every once in a while to keep it doing whatever it's doing. I've been there. I think it was 52 or 54. I remember what the sizes get up to at that point. It was rough. And I wish it was. I wish it was one of those things where I just said, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it," and blah blah blah. But for me, I used to work. I used to work in Arlington at a tennis shop, and I was driving at the time, and I got into a pretty bad accident. It was my fault, but I ended up losing my vehicle, and I was like, fuck, if I'm gonna pay for another vehicle. Nobody wanted to help me with the repairs and everything, so I sold that car for scrap, and that meant that I needed to find another way to work, and I lived in Alexandria at the time, and if I had worked in Alexandria, it would have been a non-issue. I would have just taken the bus, and I would have been ready right around the corner, no problem. But I lived in Alexandria, and I worked in Arlington. And if you know anything about the buses, they can be real fucking funny. So my bus, I had to get up early and fucking walk uphill to and not just any. It was if you know anything about Alexandria, some of them are fucking. The hills are gnarly. So I had to walk uphill, catch the bus to the Pentagon, and then hoof it the rest of the way to the shop that I worked at. Mind you, this is like a 2.5 mile walk to work. After I've already been in travel for a good half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. Maybe a little bit less, because I was keeping it the schedule real tight. I don't walk slow, even when I was a heavy guy. I just if I was walking, I had places to be, and I was not trying to motherfucking stroll. And then I'd have to hoof it, and sometimes it wasn't all that bad. I remember there were mulberry trees along my walking route going to the country club, and it was a pleasant enough walk. I onto the premises, and then another fucking gnarly fucking hill to walk up. So I did that for quite a long time, and I was also eating better, and because we worked at a country club, we had access to the dining room, to the restaurant portion of the country club, and we could just put it against our paycheck, and we'd get billed at the end of every paycheck we would get billed for our food service bill. So I started fucking chowing down on my motherfucking Caesar salads with steak and salmon, which is where I really started to appreciate salmon. And that was before I liked sushi too. That's been an eye opener for me. I love me some salmon sushi. Anyway, so as changes in habits will sometimes and often do, a change was wrought, and I started dropping weight, and when I'd had enough of that job, I also had some legal troubles, and at that point, and I was in a bad spot. I really was. I managed to get arrested on what was it? Halloween. With the night, night before Halloween, and things went sideways. I was lucky to keep my job, but the point is, I keep rambling because lots of shit happened. Exercise, whether it's forced because of a change of circumstance, is necessary. It's not always. It mostly is, like when you're really trying to fucking cut weight and keep it off, the sugars are the first thing that need to go. It just has to happen. I'm sorry. They've got to go. And I don't mean, obviously, fruits and vegetables that have sugars in them. Those are fine. Eat up. But energy drinks, I promise you, the day you cut energy drinks out of your diet, the day is the day that you will start noticeably changing, because sugar is where where the weight comes from. Your body's literally storing the sugar as energy, potential energy, and that's where it goes. But you also need to have some self-control. It's got to happen. The depression eating, you have to curb that, and in order to curb that, you have to learn to make yourself happy. You have to figure out the thing that keeps you going, because it's going to help you do what you need to do, especially when it comes to your weight. I would challenge you to like, if there's a way to get to you, okay, so, there's another part of my weight loss journey. Okay, so I was having problems at home too, and my buddy Verse was, he was having issues, and I would grab my fucking video game shit, and I would fucking take it with me to work, and no, I'm sorry. I would just come home, I would grab my shit, and I would straight hoof it over to Verse's house. God rest his soul, he's passed now. But I would just beeline it from the apartment, and it was because, okay, so we lived In Alexandria, there's a river that cuts through large portions of the area from different parts of Arlington, whatnot. And there's an aqueduct there, and there's a tunnel system that you could cut through, but you have to cross the road and go through the woods. And there was a tunnel that was always super fucking creepy. So you would just tear fucking down that fucking tunnel. As soon as you come out the other side and you see the aqueduct, the aqueduct, the viaduct, those channel things, and you got the water come through, and people can fucking go and play in the water and stuff. Like, it's all made out of concrete, and it was pretty nice. Kind of miss living there. But I would get there, and I would get down by his apartments, and that was that. And when you do that on top of going to work every day, a lot of the weight tends to come off. The hardest part is losing that first 150 pounds. But only because, like anything, objects at rest tend to want to stay at rest. But also, objects in motion tend to want to stay in motion. Once you start losing the weight, once you start noticeably curbing, like just the bad habits, you don't have to quit eating. And in fact, you need to feed. Just because you're trying to lose weight doesn't need to mean that you need to starve your body. In fact, it's quite the opposite, because the point is not to starve yourself. The point is to be burning more calories than you're taking in. You need to create a deficit so that your metabolism kicks in and starts using that fuel in your body to create, to keep you fucking going. It's very important. And then you need to learn about the healthy foods that you like to eat. I myself, like I said, I like eating tuna, and I like salmon quite a bit. I like ramen. It's the only place I get salt from, because I don't use salt in any of my foods. But I usually have ramen with tuna in oil, not water. That shit's disgusting. And baby spinach and like leaf spinach is really good. If you feel like you want a sandwich, grab some bread, some cheese, a bunch of motherfucking spinach, and mayo too, man. Make it a good sandwich. But like, get your veggies and make sure you do. You need to be burning more than you need to be burning body fat. You need to get your metabolism jump started. And I promise you, things will get easier. Find your favorite places that you can get some. I know I don't like exercise either. I usually find a way to incorporate that into whatever job I'm at. Like I'm a shopkeep, so I usually like standing as opposed to sitting. One, because it helps keep me awake, and two, let's see what's up. Pursuit plan. And also, like, if you're standing for the most of your shift, you're going to burn calories just by default. And if you're moving and doing stuff, it just makes things easier. I'm not going to say I don't cheat sometimes. I do. My particular weakness is pastries. Oh. Yeah, it's my sweet spot. I'm more fond of vegetables than I am fruits. But when I do eat fruits, I usually like the oranges and stuff like that. Pineapples. I like the sour stuff. But I just want to say that it is not impossible. It's not even super hard. But you need to do it. You need to initiate it, and I'm telling you, once you get that first 150 pounds off, you'll want to keep going, because you feel better. Your heart feels better. Your knees will feel better. Your back will feel better. I would also recommend daily stretching, especially once you get to a certain age, and that's not even my age. It's I would say once you get into your mid-30s, having a normal stretch routine is probably very beneficial. Smoking doesn't help either. I don't mean herb. I'm a cigarette smoker. I'm trying to curb that. I still have my battle with cigarettes, but these do help quite a bit. Diet's real big. Some form of exercise is more important. A change in how you operate is most important. You need to lose this weight. I'm a big proponent of be who you want to be. I'm not a big fan of America glorifying being overweight. It's not correct. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. I'm sorry. It's just not. Coming from somebody who has been there, it's not. And let's be clear, really. There's a difference between being pudgy and overweight and being obese. I was obese. I was morbidly obese. If you want to know, like, if you really want to be honest about it, yeah, because it's like I think it's like 100 pounds over what the normal what your normal size is for your height, what your normal BMI is supposed to be, and I would agree. Having that much weight puts so much pressure, not just on your heart, but your entire frame. One of the things that, especially us big guys, we take pride in is because our better than average leg strength. And the reason for that is because we are naturally carrying your poor fucking pig feet are carrying around fucking 375 pounds, all strapped onto a frame that is not naturally fit to carry that. Like, you're not supposed to be that way. Be who you want to be, but do not kid yourself about your health. Please. And I used to work at a car wash. And I worked for a car wash for 4 years, 2 separate car washes. I wouldn't say, no, I never hated those jobs. They were very challenging jobs. I started out on the line, cleaning and vacuuming cars, but I was better on loading. I was fairly fast, accurate. I paid attention for the most part. Never sent any motherfucking cars off rail, that's for damn sure. But I lost a significant amount of weight from those 2 jobs. Because up until fairly recently, I've had one of those yo-yo weights where, like, I'll get into a certain lifestyle and I'll lose a bunch of weight, and then I will change jobs, or I will have personal issues and things will go downhill. I think I was like in the 325s. Yeah, 320s. When I started working for the car washes. And boy. If you want to know if you can hack it in a lot of industries, go work at the car wash. One of them full service ones. Where they got teams of people that'll do the vacuuming and the tires and the windows and the wipe downs and all that. Full service custom. They're hard to find, and especially now because we're in the tail end of winter right now. So I don't know how much of them are going to be full service right now, but go work at one of those. It's one of the harder service industry jobs to work in. Not only because the workload is brutal, the hours are brutal, but the pay often isn't very good. Unless you're extraordinarily lucky and your boss is on the up and up, which mine was not. that's another story. But you will lose weight. You will develop your cardio. You will develop your time management. But even more than that, I had to walk to work because I still didn't have a vehicle at the time. And my job was just enough within enough range for me to be able to be like, all right, I can walk to that. See it. I usually, I think I was out the door by 7, and maybe it was like, because I had like what we started at. We started at 8:30 in the morning, so we had to be there about 8:15. So yeah, 7:30 depends on how much time I wanted to give myself before work started. Whether I wanted to smoke a bowl or like just eat my breakfast, or it was fucking cold and I had to motherfucking like get coffee before I fucking got on my way. Whatever. Every day for 4 years, both jobs, because they were very close to each other, and I was loader for both places. The second place because I was so skilled from the first place. I got real lean on especially the second one. I think I was up my lightest, it was like 196. I'm hovering right around 225 right now, which still a little bit heavy for my frame. I think I'm supposed to be like 180, 190. But a lot of my weight loss came from that. But then I ballooned up again because I started drinking a lot of fucking energy drinks. Because I used to be so fucking, like, I'd have to be so fucking hopped up on caffeine just to fucking work at the car wash. I used to do chimney sweeping too. That was an interesting fucking job. Not exactly part of my weight loss journey, but kind of. It's not even like, and I often chide myself, be like, hey man, you need to get back out and start walking again. Just fucking get rid of that gut. There is something to be said for not like busting it down with exercise, because I'm always worried about getting the saggy skin syndrome, where you get like the folds and everything. I just don't want that. I wanted to, doing this way, I feel like may have contributed to maybe that not happening. I am a fan of cardio. I am a fan of walking. The problem with walking is that it's something that, like, all right, I need to go to the Wawa. Cool. I can probably walk there. Oh, fuck, I'd have to put my shoes back on, like real shoes instead of sandals, because I'm in my 40s. Fucking sandals are fucking more comfortable. Deal with it. You'll get there. If you're over 40, you understand already. But I'd have to, just get in my boots and I'd fucking make the journey, no problem. But we have a vehicle, so I usually don't have to do that. So the problem with walking is I usually need a purpose. Not all the time. But every time I go out walking under my own volition, I come back and I fucking end up fucking like all my fucking my dashboard lights are on, all my fucking leg muscles just yo, no, sit down, smoke a cigarette. What the fuck are we doing out here? But I mean, just sit here and talking about it makes me want to go out and do it. So thank you for sitting here. If you're still sitting here, if you're sitting here at all, it's actually, even if nobody's there, it's a little bit therapeutic. Thank you for listening to my waffle. And thank you once again to Total Eclipse. It's Total X Clips on Spotify. He's got some good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and pause that. And that there. And the TV room. Okay. So, yeah, I think we were gonna start with this one. Yeah, we're gonna do Nightingale first. I'm fairly excited about this because it's an MMO that actually looks cool and different. So this is get ready for Nightingale, the ultimate survival experience.
Nightingale is number 1 on my list of upcoming games.
By Guns, Nerds, and
I've
Steel.
never been this excited for a new release. So today, I'd like to share with you some research that I did, trying to uncover all the expected features and mechanics in this unique fantasy title. First, I'll give you a brief overview, and then we'll do a deep dive into everything we've learned about the game so far. So Nightingale will be this sort of open-world, single-player or co-op, PvE, fantasy gas lamp survival game, and it's being developed by Inflection Games, a studio made up of BioWare veterans with previous experience making games like Mass Effect and Dragon Age Origins. And so you're this realm walker who can...
If you can find these in your area, they're called Kush Pens. This is Wild Cherry Punch. Oh boy, good stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
Traverse the interplanetary network of magical portals. You'll have to navigate your way through forests and swamps and deserts to unlock the portals that will take you even deeper into the lands of the Fae, in this alternate history timeline taking place in the Victorian era around the year 1889. I can't really think of a single other game that's taking place in this time frame except for Victoria 3, so this should be a really refreshing setting for a first-person game. To survive, you'll need to prepare meals, construct shelter, and craft tools to enable the gathering of plants, ores, and trees, as well as other more unexpected resources that can be found deep within the realms. And by finding new blueprints and new materials, you can then construct
that's a beautiful
higher tech and higher quality gear and weapons to increase your abilities. It's even possible to enchant your equipment by employing the arcane techniques of the Fae. You'll be able to build an impressive
it's Mr. Poppins!
And choose from a wide range of architectural motifs to decorate it to your liking. You're even encouraged to organize into communities to increase your chances of surviving, either with other players or by recruiting non-player characters or NPCs who can assist you in expanding your homestead, automating production, and gathering resources. You're free to roam the vast realms, each of which features eye-popping visuals that will put you in the middle of what the developers are calling a, quote, gas lamp fantasy adventure. You'll discover the forgotten relics of previous Realmwalker expeditions, investigate investigate the mysterious architecture of the Fae and explore their derelict ruins. Each portal promises splendor and peril waiting for you on the other
And after
side.
we're done
You can
with
explore the realmscape on
what
your
we're
own,
looking at,
or you and your friends can work
I'm
together
going
complete
to
objectives by pooling your
make
respective strengths,
another
abilities,
attempt
and
on that
resources.
cave
You'll be able
because
to
I need
craft
the
a
zip
wide
line
variety
gun.
of close quarters and long-range
Because I really
weapons
can't do
and
anything
firearms
without
to
it.
confront the monsters within the realms,
And
which
I have
include
the new axe
bound,
now,
hostile
and I
human
think I had
factions,
armor.
apex creatures,
That's
and
cool as
even the
hell.
Fae themselves. Finally, you'll discover and craft a multitude of realm cards and use them to influence the generation
So yeah, we're gonna get
process
into some
of the realm
scenes
you wish to
of the
discover,
forest
each containing new
before
challenges, new discoveries, and new secrets,
sign off for
as
the
well as
night.
new threats. All
And
of
I've
these
gotta go
are
take the
subject
trash
to
out
your
before I go to
control.
bed anyway,
I don't know
so.
about you, but I'm sold. And if you want to know more about this game,
That looks
stick
cool.
around.
The Dark
Because I'm
Portal.
about to explain every feature I've uncovered for the game so far.
That looks
after
so
scouring
cool.
Twitter,
I'm
Discord,
down with it.
YouTube, and the game's
Hey,
website.
what's up, dude?
So let's begin. The story for Nightingale was inspired by a book titled Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Despite the super boring title, the synopsis of the book sounds pretty good. Susanna Clarke's fantasy novel, published in 2004, is set in early 19th century England and follows the relationship of two magicians, of course, Mr. Norrell and Jonathan Strange. Shocker, right? And their attempts to revive English magic. The novel weaves historical events with fantasy elements and delves into the themes of nationhood, love, and power. This sparked the idea for an alternate history set in the Victorian era, a creative period in terms of human invention and knowledge acquisition, and the devs then imagined their own world, in which players could enter these portals and travel to fantastic realms to meet the Fae. The magical Fae and humans have had a long-standing, mutually beneficial connection for centuries, if not millennia. At first, humans worshipped the Fae and learned magic from them. But later, however, humans did what humans do, and began to view themselves as equal to the Fae. The Fae then withdrew from our world, taking most of their magic with them. But magic seed had already been sown in the world, and so the study of magic emerged alongside Renaissance science and art as an exciting new field for human study. But the story takes place not in a new universe, but in an alternative timeline to our own. So you may witness some historical events through the lens of magic and the Fae's interaction with humans. And so humans all over the world have flocked to this enchanted city called Nightingale to learn about magic, develop an understanding of its workings, and construct portals to the Fae worlds beyond. I think of Nightingale like Jerusalem meets New York City. The setting for the beginning of the story is the end of the world. The planet Earth is currently undergoing a catastrophic event. The world is slowly being enveloped in a mysterious force known as the Pale, but nobody knows where it came from. And if the beginning of the story is the end of the world, does the end of the story mean we'll take it full circle to the beginning of the world? Unclear. Realmwalkers everywhere are making a last-ditch effort to travel to Nightingale under the assumption that Nightingale is the final stronghold of humanity and that it possesses the magical power to keep the Pale at bay. But unknowingly, those attempting to use the portals are ultimately cast asunder and lost within the labyrinth of the realms. Hopefully you'll have more than a volleyball to keep you company. The story will see you along your journey to return to Nightingale, enduring various obstacles in the realms as well as obstacles from the Fae. Humanity knows very little about the Fae, but we do know that they are not divine. The Elders, whoever they are, created these mystical beings. The Fae are divided into courts, such as the Winter Court and the Summer Court. Each of these courts has its own motivations for how they interact with humans. The Winter Court, for example, employs the bound, Fae-created creatures who serve them mindlessly. They are described as human-like mimics. Some of these monsters are more fantastical than others, while some are simply horrifying. But they are all distinct to the style of Gaslamp fantasy that the developers are attempting to create. And these courts are commanded by Fae princes, princesses, lords, and ladies. And everyone who is not a member of a court is referred to as Ronin. And when players awaken after passing through the Shattered Portal Network, they will encounter Puck, a character based on A Midsummer's Night Dream, and who serves as your friendly Fae guide throughout the story's first act. Furthermore, the majority of Fae and humans arrange themselves into factions, with more emerging along the trip. All factions, Fae or human, can provide lore and storytelling opportunities. Uncovering who is friend and who is foe in the realm is kind of part of the journey. This means that players will meet the Fae in combat. Even though Fae are not inherently bad creatures, they can be incredibly cryptic, elusive, and difficult to read at times, with the same capacity for good and evil as any human. However, players will encounter a variety of Fae archetypes, including Fae assassins and commanders, all of whom stand roughly 8 to 9 feet
They look
tall.
really cool.
If the Fae had blue skin, the story might have an entirely different feel.
I still have yet to
As
see
an
the
alternate
second
history,
one.
you get to reimagine
I'll get to
both
it.
real-life and fictional stories in new ways. It's entirely possible to discover the ruins of civilizations that once existed in the realms, but have since vanished, because, after all, humans have been exploring them for untold ages. You might observe how individuals like English mathematician Ada Lovelace, who is most known for developing the analytical engine and early computer design, would have interacted with magic. And I'm hereby referring to my computer as an analytical engine because that's 100 times more badass sounding than PC. You'll also get to know fictional characters like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and learn how they would behave in such a setting as well. The goal of the developers is to create a survival crafting game with rich NPCs and lore that players can explore. Everything is supposed to fit together nicely and give you the impression that you're visiting real places. The developers reportedly spent a lot of time and effort early in the project thinking about how to pay off this idea of many different realms and places to explore. The realm system, through realm cards, allows users to control what they see inside portals. The realm card mechanic is the interface through which players can participate in the procedural realm construction. It's not just about having one procedural world, it's about the generation being meaningful and the player having some control over what they're seeing, so it doesn't feel arbitrary. The realm card system combines player agency with the randomness and surprise of the procedural system. Players will be asked to create realm cards using recipes they find or earn via gameplay. Once you've crafted those realm cards, you'll go to a portal, play the realm cards in certain combinations, and all of that adds up to a recipe that tells the portal what it needs to unlock the other side. Cards are classified as biome cards, major cards, and minor cards. Over time, new biome cards will be released. Currently, the swamp, the desert, and the forest are all present, and all have certain environmental difficulties. Other significant aspects of the realm are represented by major cards. Minor cards then make small tweaks and improvements to what you'll find on the other side. So let's assume that you've decided that you want to go to a desert. You'll choose a biome card for that. You also might want to go hunting and look for natural resources, or just look for something new. In that case, you might have a major card called the Hunt, and by playing it, you'll get more of a focus on dangerous animals that can then be hunted and harvested to collect their hides for future crafting. Additionally, you might want to avoid the night because it's too stressful to you, and so you can play a minor card to prevent the sun from setting. So after crafting and then using your realm cards, you'll have an open portal to a new realm. As long as the portal is open, you can enter that realm. However, if it shuts, that realm is lost forever. The same sort of realm will be obtained when using the same card combinations in the future, but you won't connect to the same exact realm as you visited before. That realm is gone. You can even take your friends along and bring them to places they've never been, even using cards that those players haven't yet obtained. And there will even be caves in some realms, and these underground areas contain a variety of encounters ranging from naturally occurring caves to underground abandoned Fae ruins. The majority of the materials found within the realms don't naturally respawn, so exploring new realms is the main way to acquire.
You know what this reminds me of? There's an SCP called Lord Blackwood. He's an English lord that, trapped in the body of a slug.
Which is where they will return to if they die
sea
and
slug.
are unable to be revived. They can then fast
and
travel
he can
to this
speak and
resting
everything.
realm
It's
if they
ridiculous
are in
and it's
danger.
awesome.
This is where you will construct your estate.
But he this kind of reminds me of Lord Blackwood before he
most of your crafting
had his
For artistic
unfortunate
expression, you can personalize your estate in terms of both design and decor, and you decide where your resting realm is located. If you want to live in a
he's not even
swamp
aware
with a variety of lethal monsters because you find that intriguing,
believe.
you can do that. But it might make more sense to put it somewhere calmer and more serene, with plenty of great resources. But it's entirely up to you. As long as the topography and other natural features allow for it, players can construct their buildings anywhere. There are certain limitations on where you can build, such as sharp inclinations, objects being in the way, and the fact that some components can only be joined to certain others, but otherwise you can build just about anywhere. Currently, you can only have one respite point active at once, but you can build as many structures as you want any place in the realms. However, there might be some restriction due to performance issues. The developers are making a lot of effort to guarantee good performance even with extremely intricate buildings created by players. The building system is said to be similar to the forest or grounded in that you lay out the blueprints for various building components such as a wall or a staircase before filling in the shape of the design with the necessary materials to finish the project. And players can currently build barriers or other structures to resist the bound or other creature attacks. After that, players can use ranged weapons to assault the bound while minimizing risk.
Very much like Sons of the Forest.
Players prefer to emphasize variability within the realms rather than varied sizes. Hence, the usual map size is going to be 2 by 2 kilometers. Higher tier resources will become available as you accumulate realm cards and go through your adventures. You can craft items using basic materials, but you can later craft the same things out of higher tier materials. The gear you create will be stronger and more powerful, depending on the quality of the components used to make it. Therefore, you'll want to advance and discover those harder realms so that you can acquire better resources to keep up with the increasingly difficult challenges you will encounter. You may have a lot of fun when cooking, and there are many different and interesting recipes available. Fire roasted food is a simple illustration of how recipes function. Fire roasted berries and fire roasted mushrooms are both available, and both will satisfy your appetite. But because you utilize different ingredients, the benefits will vary. So the whole cooking and food system is sounding a lot like Valheim to me. Realm Walkers will be given some fundamental crafting and building schematics when they first begin, and they'll be able to find new schematics by gathering resources, conversing with NPCs, or performing missions. Players can currently create up to 3 characters, but you can only play with one of them at once. Choosing a character role during the character creation process gives you access to a narrative backstory and distinctive clothing. The devs have created prototypes of pets, but they haven't yet put them into production, and there hasn't been
I would
much
definitely want to
development
be
done
Mr.
on
Poppins.
mounts. And the game is said to not have a leveling system.
It's just
Progression will be
actually
based on the recipes, materials, and
kind of also
encounters you
reminds me
discover.
of
Items you craft and upgrade will impact your stamina, health,
that
and abilities.
that British
Melee
film,
weapons
The
like
Avengers.
The axe pick, ranged weapons like the sling bow, and magical spells will all be used in combat.
And I remember
Around 10
back in the
spells should be
day,
available
I'd
at
be
once,
looking for the
and will be
Avengers,
released
and like
throughout
that
early
one would
access,
come
ranging
up,
from
and I'd be
utility
real
to
salty
battle
about it
spells.
because like
So
that's
far,
not
we've
the one
seen
I
the
wanted to see.
Shockwave spell, which will stop adversaries in their tracks, and the Light Wisp spell, which illuminates
But he
an
does
object
remind
in the
me like
shadows.
of
As you
the
advance
dude
in the
from
game,
that
you'll be
movie
able to acquire
with his
magical talents. You see,
with his
humans are not really born with magical
cane
talents,
umbrella
and
type
therefore
thing.
spells must be bound to some item, such as a tool or a weapon. But beware, because using spells will reduce that item's durability. Ammunition for some firearms can also be customized. For example, a rifle could discharge slugs, birdshot, or fire ammunition, and the materials you use to make the weapons will affect a number of characteristics, including damage, weight, and durability. Nightingale, like most survival crafting games, gives players a lot of options in terms of what they want to pursue as a goal and how they might fulfill it. However, there is a narrative arc or story mode that players can pursue via NPCs and quests. There's a very typical
That is
death
so cool
mechanism
looking.
in which players will lose their whole inventory on death and revive back at their previous spawn point, and there are no timers to return to your stuff, and there will be a sign to indicate where it all is. Any benefits you possessed prior to death, such as like meal buffs, will be gone. And going hungry right now will cause you some various debuffs, but will not kill you. Realm Walkers will be able to earn extraordinary abilities.
I like the
via their
steampunk
equipment and spells.
aesthetic.
For example, you can outfit them with
really
unique
cool.
equipment that allows them to scale steep rock faces.
That's so cool.
Or alternatively,
Right.
you could enchant an umbrella and use it to glide back down to safety. Finally, the day-night cycle is reported to be 60 minutes long. So when will Nightingale be available? Well, according to the facts section of the official Nightingale website, Inflection Games has set the Nightingale release date for the first half of 2023 on PC. Closed alpha playtesting has been ongoing since summer of 2022, and they're still accepting signups for that. And content creators can fill out a separate application for an upcoming early access promotional release. There is no information on a console port right now. Nightingale is a game that I will continue to cover on my channel, so make sure you're subscribed if you're interested in that. I hope you found this information helpful and or entertaining, and I'll see you all in the Fey Realms. Hey everyone, I just wanted to say thank you for watching, for leaving a like, but most of all, thank you to the long list of amazing supporters that you see right here. I hope this episode has earned your subscription, and I can't wait to show you the next one. Best wishes to all, and goodbye.
I I wonder if I can get into...
Hey everyone, what's up? Today we're going to be taking an updated look at Nightingale. This is the upcoming...
Nightingale is number 1.
Alright, and now we look at Armored Core.
Peggy 16.
I'm gonna change that. Well, not, yeah, I'm gonna change the background here in a bit. I'm gonna go work in Night Cafe and come up with a cool background. Oh, yeah, that looks dope. Armageddon. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Yes. And this comes out fairly soon. So, yes, that is that one. Hey, stop. Ah, and this is, yeah, we're gonna watch this. The Russian Doll Man, and I am going to look at seeing about getting into Nightingale Alpha. It's probably too late, but we'll see.
Throughout time, fascination with death has been an ongoing and shared subject for many. The grim, oddly fascinating part about the afterlife involves the possibility of forming some sort of connection with a lingering entity or a loved one that might have passed. Oftentimes, either to satisfy this curiosity or to cope with loss, people will attempt to contact the dead by either visiting their gravesite or, in more extreme cases, by using certain communication devices such as a Ouija board or some sort of radio. By this point in time, as we all know, these definitely provide heavily mixed results, depending on who you are. But what about those that take this fascination too far? Historically, we've had a few very infamous names pop up about certain people keeping dead bodies for themselves. Such was the case with Carl Tanzler, the necrophile that kept a deceased and mummified 22-year-old in his home to live with him for over 7 years. This case is crazy in and of itself, but it's been covered time and time again. Because of this, I wanted to focus on a similar, if not slightly more extreme situation that came to light a few years ago, surrounding the bizarre happenings of a Russian man by the name of Anatoly Moskvin. Moskvin is a 52-year-old that, back in the mid to late 2000s, was regarded a genius by many. He was a historian who authored various scientific papers and acquired the knowledge of upwards of 13 different languages. Many of his peers and family saw him as a quiet, ordinary person with no real cause for concern regarding his behavior. The thing is, though, he had this unforgiving obsession with the afterlife, and the scientific papers and magazine publications that he would provide over the years would actually come to assist in explaining the secret and deeply outlandish behavior that he was committing right under everyone's nose. You see, Moskvin was a very disturbing character. In late 2011, he had single-handedly thrown Russian police and media into a whirlwind down one of the darkest and most bizarre criminal cases in the country's history. Backing up to 1966, Anatoly was born in Nizhny Novgorod, Russia, to his parents by the names of Yuri Fedorovich and Elvira Alexandrovna. According to his parents, he was very socially awkward and had pretty intense difficulty making friends. On the flip side of this, he was extremely smart, and his parents simply chalked up his awkwardness to his intelligence, not thinking much of it. Young Anatoly had a childhood that was far from conventional, though. According to an account by him, for example, one day in the 3rd grade, he had returned home from school completely covered in bruises. As it turns out, these were caused by a man that raped him sometime that day. To date, it's unclear whether he ever relayed that information to his parents or not. This was far from the first odd instance that played out in his youth. In fact, one could argue that what we're about to discuss was the true beginning of his obsession with a very unconventional topic: the dead. This fascination stems way back to when he was only 13. In a local weekly publication that focuses on cemeteries and obituaries, Moskvin outlines a very strange ritual that he found himself tangled up in. In the publication, dated October 26, 2011, he explains that a group of men in black suits stopped him on his way home from school. They were en route to the funeral of 11-year-old Natasha Petrova and ended up dragging young Anatoly along to her coffin, where they forced him to kiss the girl's corpse. Further on in his writing, he explains that, quote, "I kissed her once, then again, then again." Afterwards, the girl's mother then allegedly placed a wedding ring on the 13-year-old's finger and one on the hand of her dead daughter. "My strange marriage with Natasha Petrova was useful," Moskvin claimed. Useful it was, as Moskvin's unapologetic obsession with the undead was just beginning to take root. After this, Moskvin began to have very ominous dreams about the dead girl. According to him, she would visit him nightly and would try to profess her knowledge of black magic upon him, whilst pleading for him to return to the village where the ritual had taken place. Apparently, after heading back there, the visitation stopped. But this would be short-lived, as once he ceased to visit it regularly, she would once again appear in his dreams. Reporting this to his parents was ineffective at best, as they simply took him to a doctor that chalked it up to Moskvin during puberty. With this diagnosis, he also went forth to prescribe him valerian, an herbal sedative that aids in relaxation. After an entire year of visits by Natasha, she would eventually grow tired of Moskvin's refusals to do what she wanted. Since this was the case, she tasked him with performing a black magic ritual using a classmate's tooth in exchange for her leaving him alone forever. Somehow, according to Moskvin, this ritual was carried out successfully, and as a result, she never came back again. This so-called task would have other implications on his life, however, as it successfully kicked off Anatoly's interest in black magic and the occult. Later on in life, Moskvin studied at the University of Moscow and earned a degree in Celtic Studies, a culture that bears a very close blend in beliefs between life and death. Also, he would go on to join the Society of the Luciferians and would embrace the left-hand path, which bears a focus on sexual magic and personal anarchy. This, coupled with his interest in black magic, would result in Moskvin performing various rituals on dead animals and eventually vowing celibacy. After graduation, it became known that he had grown to acquire extensive knowledge of the intricacies of all the surrounding cemeteries in his area. When sharing his knowledge throughout his various writings, he claims that he went to upwards of over 752 of them from 2005 to 2007 in his hometown for a so-called research trip. Assisted by a well-known historian named Oleg Ryabov, the two began to research the Constitution to document cemeteries and to unearth local history along the way.
Sorry.
The end goal was to publish a book by the name of Nizhny Novgorod Necropolis that contained all of his findings, but as you might have guessed, Moskvin had ulterior motives in mind. In 2009, local residents began to notice that the gravesites of their loved ones were either desecrated or dug up entirely. This eventually led to a 2-year-long investigation into these occurrences that seemed to lead nowhere at all. In 2011, an anti-Muslim terror attack would unfold at the airport in Moscow, and very shortly afterwards, authorities caught wind of some Muslim gravesites that were allegedly being dug up and vandalized. After going to investigate that for a potential terror suspect, Moskvin would quickly jump to act like he was simply painting over some gravestones. But he was, in turn, promptly arrested, caught red-handed
Sorry about that.
in the act of vandalism. Shortly afterwards, police would then launch an investigation into these bizarre acts by Moskvin, and the first place of interest to search was his living quarters. Fully expecting Moskvin to be an extremist, they were anticipating the discovery of various anti-Muslim propaganda to litter his living quarters. What they would find in reality, however, would leave police completely baffled. The raid, which took place in an apartment that he actually shared with his parents, ended up leading to the discovery of 29 life-size dolls.
Russian police have released this video they shot in what can be described as a house of horrors. They say those aren't dolls strewn about the apartment, but actual remains of people a historian had dug up and dressed in women's clothing and then put on display.
The figures, heavily representing antique dolls, wore various types of clothing. Apparently, Moskvin dressed all of these up in makeup, even going as far as to place buttons or various circular objects in their eye sockets to give them a more lifelike appearance. The thing is, though, these weren't simply dolls. Rather, these were all created with the dead corpses of girls ranging in age from 3 to just 12 years old. Even more disturbing, when police began to move the bodies in this investigation, most of them would emit some sort of jingle, and it was later revealed that Moskvin stuffed each of the rib cages with music boxes so they could emit some sort of audible feedback when he interacted with them. Moskvin also allegedly kept track of their birthdays in his room and celebrated them when the time came. According to police, there were photographs and plaques taken off of gravestones, doll-making manuals, and maps of local cemeteries littering the apartment. Furthermore, the clothes that most of these dolls were wearing were the actual clothes in which they were buried. Moskvin later admitted that he achieved structural integrity of the corpses by wrapping their legs and arms with rags before stuffing those into nylon tights. He performed this for each of their limbs and their faces before inserting buttons into their eye sockets as to, quote, allow them to watch cartoons with him. In police interrogations that followed, he claimed that he loved most of them. However, they were a few that he simply
this
wasn't
is
content with.
by Nexpo.
The ones that he had grown to
you should be able
dislike
to see
were
that on
promptly
there.
stuffed into their small garage and left to be forgotten. Apparently, he did all this out of loneliness. His parents claimed that he'd grown this massive obsession with creating life-size dolls, and bizarrely didn't think much of it, regardless of the smell that it would emit. We saw these dolls, but we did not suspect there were dead bodies inside. We thought it was his hobby to make such big dolls, and we didn't see anything wrong with it, his mother claimed in an interview. According to a neighbor, there would be a constantly putrid smell that would emit from their apartment every time he passed by. However, he chalked it up to being a sewage problem below the building, not thinking much of it. Out of all the corpses that he kept locked up in his apartment, there was one of them that was with him for upwards of 9 years. With all of these findings by police, Moskvin was eventually charged with extremely heavy crimes. In late 2011, with new nicknames given by the media, such as Lord of the Mummies and the Puppeteer, Moskvin eventually confessed to 44 counts of grave abuse and was sentenced to a psychiatric ward shortly afterwards. There, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and has been in confinement ever since. It's been reported that Moskvin was repeatedly beaten by guards at this facility, and according to his mother, was also fed up to 15 pills per day, which kept him in a catatonic state. Since this was the case, a human rights lawyer by the name of Violeta Volkova was hired to represent Moskvin. Her end goal was to get him out of this facility and into an independent clinic in Moscow for re-examination, expressing a primary distrust in the ward's doctors. This grueling legal fight ended up earning him a second hearing, and as of September of 2018, he was offered the opportunity to continue his psychiatric treatment at home, and alongside this, the ability to essentially walk free. As you might expect, though, this decision has been met with pretty heavy controversy.
I'll do it by email.
One of the victim's mothers, a woman by the name of Natalia Chardamova, didn't realize that this entire time she was visiting an empty coffin when going to her daughter's gravesite. The corpse of her daughter, Olga, was one of the 29 girls that he dug up and kept locked up in his home. Apparently, she had been brutally murdered at age 10, and it's completely tragic to think about what this mother could have gone through during that. Coming to the realization that her daughter was taken from her not only once, but a second time infuriates her, and she's one of the very many that unapologetically oppose the potential release of him. He needs to be kept under surveillance. This creature brought fear, terror, and panic into my life. Anatoly Moskvin is set to walk free from a psychiatric ward sometime this year. The order of his containment with the facility was set to expire last December, so his release comes in only a matter of time. While he might walk as a quote-unquote free man, his crimes will forever go down as some of the darkest and most bizarre in history. The emotions that these parents are going through is completely inconceivable, and we can only hope that authorities keep a close eye on him for the remainder of his life, as he could very easily still possess the inner drive to continue with his disturbing antics. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I love you all, and good night.
Just to state a couple things before this starts, these entries are all written by the same person. There will be a transition on screen between each story. I wasn't sure where else to post these stories, so I figured I'd share them here. I've been a search and rescue officer for a few years now, and along the way I've seen some things that I think you guys will be interested in. I have a pretty good track record for finding missing people. Most of the time, they just wander off the path or slip down a small cliff and they can't find their way back. The majority of them have heard the old "stay where you are" thing and they don't wander off, but I've had 2 cases where that didn't happen. Both bother me a lot, and I use them as motivation to search even harder on the missing persons cases I get called on. The first was a little boy who was out berry picking with his parents. He and his sister were together, and both of them went missing around the same time. Their parents lost sight of them for a few seconds.
So I just signed up for the content creator thing. So if I do get accepted, I probably won't be able to like show anything until release, which won't be too long anyway. But
She said he gave
very
her
much
berries
like
and told
an
her to stay
MMO
quiet,
that
he wanted to play with her brother for a while.
just
and
grabbed
that's the
me, and
last
this
she
looks
saw
pretty
of her
cool.
brother. He was riding on the shoulders of
Kinda like the bright
bear
colors.
man and seemed calm. Of course, our first thought was abduction, but we never found a trace of another human being in the area. The little girl was also insistent that he wasn't a normal man, but that he was tall and covered in hair like a bear, and that he had a weird face. We searched the area for weeks.
I mean, they might
It was
not.
one of the
They might
longest
not let
calls
me
I've ever
in
been
because
on, but
of
we
some
never
of
found
my
a single trace of that kid. The other was a young woman who was out hiking with her mom and grandpa.
my traditions.
According to the mother,
I don't.
her
I
daughter
mean,
had climbed up
otherwise
a
I
tree
can
to
just
get a
wait
better
until
view of the forest,
it comes
and
out,
she'd never come
and
back
then
down. They
it's
waited
whatever.
at the base of the tree for
But I
hours,
do
calling her
usually
name before they called for
enjoy,
help. Again, we searched everywhere, and we never found a trace of her. I have no idea where she could have possibly gone, because neither her mother or grandpa saw her come down. A few times, I've been out on my own searching with a canine, and they've tried to lead me straight up cliffs. Not hills, not even rock faces. Straight, sheer cliffs with no possible handholds. It's always baffling. And in those cases, we usually find the person on the other side of the cliff, or miles away from where the canine had led us. I'm sure there's an explanation, but it's sort of strange. One particularly sad case involved the recovery of a body. A 9-year-old girl fell down an embankment and got impaled on a dead tree at the base. It was a complete freak accident, but I'll never forget the sound her mother made when we told her what happened.
Oh.
She saw the body bag
Sorry,
being
I
loaded
thought we were
into
on
an
the same
ambulance,
one.
and she let out
I may
the
have
most
to.
haunting,
We'll see.
heartbroken wail
But
I've
that was
ever
that.
heard.
I was just putting that on there while I was doing that. While I was. In fact, let's just turn that off. Is there anything else that I wanted to look at? Nightingale, Expo, Vantage, and Liminal Land. I'll do that tomorrow because that's a whole different thing. But yeah, no, we're good on that. So. I'm actually, yeah, I can do that. I'll put this back on for the moment because I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette real quick before we jump into Sons of the Forest. I don't want to start Sons and like just yet because yeah, I just don't want to start up because I don't want to start like pulling resources from everywhere. Having it on like highest settings does get the card to wake up a little bit, and I don't want it fucking working harder than it has to. Before I'm ready, because if I don't get through this cave like on the first go, which very well may happen since I've been through it before, but I expect that it will. But if I get through, then fine. But if not, then I'm going to be stubborn about it, and I'll be trying to do this a couple more times. So, yeah, I've got one more cigarette left. I could go to the store, but I don't feel like it, really. I'll be right back. Look at that handsome boy. Huh? Look at that good boy. Oh, fucking blocking the light and all that stuff. Hi, buddy. My sweetie boy. Yeah. He sleeps all day. Well, I'm sorry. He sleeps all night and then gets me up at 7 in the morning to let him out so he can go be out all day, huh? Spoiled Robbie. At some point I will get a new chair. This motherfucker squeaks too much. But there's a little bit of sentimental value attached to it. And it's still fucking comfortable. It just squeaks like a motherfucker. And it's not very good for my back support. It doesn't encourage me to sit in a better position, which isn't. It's good. So yeah, I'll be right back. Take my coffee. Sometimes I get distracted. I was like, I should take the trash out now while I'm out here, and I was like, no, I have a stream going on. So let's finish that. What, baby? You don't need very much anyway. I hope this is on the approved playlist too. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Oop. Okay. So, let's actually go ahead and put that on pause. Again, thank you very much to Total X Clips for providing the common fair use or whatever. We're allowed to use them, and I really appreciate that. Really, guys, come on, like really, come on, Jesus. Let's go. Sorry. Ooh. Okay, so I already did that. I'm really hoping I get into the to the beta, but since we have make sure that's closed. Since he's asleep, we can go here and that. Now we can go here. Sorry, just getting my Bluetooth shit set up. Show devices and connect. Okay. Because everything is clearer when I use these. Alright, let's see. Okay, good. Alright, guys. Let me test something real quick. Okay. So it is a go for me. Oh, right, because it's on bedtime mode. That's why it's not making any noise. All right, so I can put that on. Wake up the. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so our goal is to get the zipline gun, and then we can make a beeline. Actually, I kind of want to know where that other cave entrance is, so I can go and get the shovel without having to go through all that bullshit. We'll have to see if I can find it. Alright, she wants some food. Hold on. Hey, sweetie. I'm not pretty girl. Oh yeah, I'm hungry and all kinds of stuff. And I've got resources to recollect around here. Resources do respawn, as well as enemies whenever you reload or go in and out of the cave. For the love of God, please make sure you go by that campsite and get the modern axe, because boy, does that increase your survivability down here. Also, armor is very beneficial down here as well. This is where you really need it. Up top, you can usually run, especially if you don't have a base for them to mess with. Also, apparently tree forts don't get messed with, which is really what I want to do when I get this fucking this rope gun and get out of here, because I definitely want to do the tree fort type thing. One of the main things I like about these the headphones is the directional audio. There's nothing better. It's really creepy because good source of cloth down here and food. Yeah, all those noises in the background are really creepy. You can't see it very well, but that there is an original E.T. pillowcase from the original set. Yeah. It's the only thing I have left from my childhood. I used to have He-Man, G.I. Joe, all that shit. Everything. Alright, so okay. It's very odd that you can't drink the cave water. I am mostly fully loaded though on stuff that I need. Look at all that. Okay. It's very disturbing, the oh yeah. Hmm. Good sources of rope down here. Okay. Okay. I think that's all that I... Oh. Could make some Molotov cocktails. Got my sled. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Can I make any more? Oh, I can. Okay. All right. You know what? Since I made all this armor, I'm gonna go ahead and save, and let me heal up first. Oh yeah, and let me. How many do I have enough? Yeah, I should have enough rocks. Oh shit. Let's get one of those. Take me up to full health. Shotgun rail. Okay. Sorry guys, I am a little, I mean, I've done this before, but it's always anxiety inducing to go down into one of these caves. No motherfucking arrows. Okay. That's why I didn't see any. Alright, alright, alright. So we gotta do this the hard way. Oh. Oh. Watch. What am I missing? missing something like that. Okay. So I'm missing something. Alright. Oh, and I can fucking hotkey shit now. So 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So fucking nervous. You know what? Fuck it. That was stupid. I've often done that before. That was not very effective. I am using up too much resources. They're fast. Let's see if it's safe to sleep here. Okay. Okay. All right, gentlemen. So I wonder if... No. There's no water here. Okay. So the fire's back there. Okay. Actually gonna, cause this fucking wigs me out. So Let's do this. Throw one down. Do one more save. And we need to go down this way. Oh. That's right. So we're gonna do this the smart way. Easy, buddy. Get you squared away in a second. God, this stuff is so unsettling. Alright. Oh yeah. Another piece of armor too. Alright, good buddy. So glad for fucking hotkeys. Thank you developers for the hotkeys. Alright. I don't know if those vertical those things with the creepy thingamajigs, like whatever, but okay. Fuck! Oh, for the love of God, Josh. know what? I'm not even gonna fuck around anymore. Still not. What the fuck, man? Crap. All right. So at least I saved. And I know what I'm up against. Yes, I know. How do you beat those things, man? Fuck that noise, man. What the fuck? Wait, what? So I have to do all that again. Fuck! Sorry. Please let me get one more crack at that. Nope. It's sometimes very upsetting. But is it gonna freeze on me? I think so. It was very strange. Oh, right, because everything respawned. That's odd. So they're all dead except for... So what do I have left? Oh, I do have 2 grenades. Fabulous. All right. Nice. So I've run into demons. Alright. No, that's just a more That was highly unsuccessful. Where did my arrows go? That was luck. That's what that is. Okay. Fuck! Should I give it one more try? Sorry, just thinking about whether I should do this again. One more try. Unless it crashes again, then I'm done for the night. Because it's already 6 o'clock in the morning. And I've been recording for 3 hours. Yeah, I think it might have fucking, yeah. So, I'm gonna call it a night. I'll be back on tomorrow in the afternoon, after I get some sleep. It's been a long day. You guys have a great night. Be safe. Be happy, be healthy, but most importantly, be happy, excuse me. Have a great week. Like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next one.